Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this morning with Tug and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is your dog's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the correction and the motivation that we give the puppies when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give the correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a tug and let go on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Tug has been fitted with his very own training collar, and you'll be taught how to use that effectively during your one-on-one follow-up training session. Now he's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done, and the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. The command is tug heel, and at this point Tug has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when walking. Not dragging you down the street, but walking nicely next to you at your pace. And sitting automatically when you stop walking, so that when you're walking with him down the street and you stop to cross the street or stop to talk to a neighbor, that he should be sitting nicely at your left and waiting for his next command. And that's an automatic sit. Now the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command. Stay. And because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. We're going to be lengthening out the amount of time that he can hold it and the distance. This is a good exercise for developing self-control. When Fred returns back to his dog, he will walk all the way around him as an additional distraction, ending up right back where they started at heel position, and they take off heeling again. And with Tug, you don't need much in the way of praise or motivation, because then you have to reel him back in. So in the very beginning, keep your praise very mild. A little good boy is plenty. He doesn't need you to go over the top with the praise. He does a lot of head shaking. We've checked his ears on numerous occasions. There's nothing wrong with his ears. His ears seem fine. But he does a lot of head shaking. We're not sure what that's about. Stay. Fred leaves him in another sit stay, walks out to the end of the training leash, and again, practice this exercise right in your house, because this is what we're working up to, a nice house pet. This time, instead of returning back to his dog, Fred's going to call him. He comes right in, and he should sit right in front of you, facing your knees, and that eliminates all that jumping. And back to heel, and back sitting. Very good job. And Fred's going to demonstrate that recall exercise again for us. You notice each time that he stops his feet, Tug sits nicely, without being told. Beautiful. He leaves him in another stay. Walks out to the end of the training leash and faces the dog. Then he uses his name and calls him in. And he should come right in front and sit. That was perfectly done. And back to heel and back sitting. Very good. Now the next exercises that we're going to be demonstrating for you are also exercises that you're going to be using in the house with Tug. Now, if he doesn't sit right away, you'll hear Fred say no sit, or you'll hear me say no sit, and give him a little correction with that training collar. Good. Now, with your dog seated at heel position, you take your left open palm, push it straight down toward the ground, and give the one-word command to down, and then stay. Your long sit stay is for 1 to 3 minutes. Your long down stay is 3 to 5 minutes, and we want you to practice indoors as well as outdoors. Now, he got distracted by a smell on the ground. Heel. So Fred's going to heel him out of that, and we're going to do it again, because he has to do it as the command was taught. Down. Stay. So you don't lose your temper. This time when Fred returns back to him, he will walk all the way around him just as he did on the sit stay, as an additional distraction, returning all the way back around to heel, and they will demonstrate that down from a heel one more time for you. And this little exercise that we've put together for you to practice with is just that. It's a practice exercise, but we want you to use these exercises in your home as well.
Down. Stay.
And none of this was easy with Tug. Tug was pretty much a wild child when he got here. And the longer he can hold it, the better. This time Fred will call him out of that exercise. Call him right in and have him sit. That was beautifully done. Back to heel and back sitting. Very good. Now the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is a little bit harder. This is your down from a distance. And it's harder only because you're not next to the dog for correction purposes. So with your dog seated, you leave him in a stay. Walk out to the end of your training leash and give the command to down. We'll do that again for you because he anticipated the come command. It wasn't a great angle either, so I want you to be able to see it so you can practice with it. Fred leaves him in a sit stay. Uses his right hand to give the command this time.
Down.
Good. That's your down from a distance. Now we've demonstrated for you his healing, his automatic sits, his stay, sit stay, down from a distance, and come. And these are the exercises that we're going to be incorporating into your everyday living situations so Tug can be more of a house pet and a companion and be more a member of the family. He's been challenging, but we've enjoyed having him, and thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.